Americans have seen how I do my job. Even when you might not agree with me, you know what I believe and where I stand and where I intend to lead our country. On good days and on bad days, whether the polls are up or the polls are down, I am determined to win this war on terror and to protect the American people, and I will always support the men and women who wear the nation's uniform. I want to thank those who wear the uniform. I want to thank the families of our military, and I want to thank the veterans who are here who have set such a great example. We have a duty to support those in harm's way with all the resources they need, necessary for them to do their job. That's why I went to the United States Congress and asked for $87 billion of supplemental funding to support our troops in combat. And we got good support in the Congress. Matter of fact, the support was so strong that only 12 United States senators voted against the supplemental funding request, 2 of whom were my opponent and his running mate. As you're out gathering the vote and as you're out talking to people about this election, remind people of this startling statistic. Only 4 members of the United States Senate voted to authorize the use of force and then voted against providing the funding for our troops in combat. Only 4, 2 of whom were my opponent and his running mate. So they asked him, I'm sure the people of Lancaster, Pennsylvania are just as surprised as people all around the country when he gave his famous answer about his vote. He said, I actually did vote for the $87 billion right before I voted against it. He's given a lot of explanations since then, a lot of them. One of the most interesting ones of all was that it was just a complicated matter. There's nothing complicated about supporting our troops in combat. After repeatedly calling Iraq the wrong war and a diversion, Senator Kerry this week seemed shocked to learn that Iraq was a dangerous place, full of dangerous weapons. The senator used to know that, even though he seems to have forgotten it over the course of the campaign. But after all, that's why we're there. Iraq was a dangerous place run by a dangerous tyrant who had a lot of weapons. We have seized or destroyed more than 400,000 tons of munitions, including explosives, at more than thousands of different sites. And we're continuing to round up more weapons every day. I want to remind the American people, if Senator Kerry had his way, we will still be taking our global test. Saddam Hussein would still be in power. He would control all those weapons and explosives and could have shared them with our terrorist enemies. Now the senator is making wild charges about missing explosives when his top foreign policy advisor admits, quote, we do not know the facts. Think about that. The senator is denigrating the action of our troops and commanders in the field without knowing the facts. Unfortunately, that's part of a pattern of saying almost anything to get elected. Like when Senator Kerry charged that our military failed to get Osama bin Laden at Tora Bora, even though our top military commander, General Tommy Franks, said the senator's understanding of events does not square with reality. And our intelligence reports placed bin Laden in any of several different countries at the time. Our military is now investigating a number of possible scenarios, including that the explosives may have been moved before our troops even arrived at the site. This investigation is important and it's ongoing, and a political candidate who jumps to conclusions without knowing the facts is not a person you want as your commander-in-chief. When it comes to your security, when it comes to the security of our families, my opponent takes a very different approach. He says that September the 11th did not change him much at all. And his policies make that clear. He says the war on terror is primarily a law enforcement and intelligence gathering operation. Well, September 11th changed me. I remember the day I was at Ground Zero, September the 4th, 2001. It's a day I will never forget. There were workers in hard hats there yelling at me at the top of their lungs, whatever it takes. I remember a man grabbed me by the arm, he looked me square in the eye, and he said, "Do not let me down." For since that day, I wake up every morning trying to figure out how to better protect America. I will never relent in defending America, whatever it takes. The second clear choice in this election concerns your family budget. When I ran for president 4 years ago, I pledged to lower taxes for American families, and I kept my word. We doubled the child credit to $1,000 per child. We reduced the marriage penalty. The tax code should encourage marriage, not penalize marriage. We created a lower tax bracket at 10% so working families would get help. We reduced income taxes for everybody who paid income taxes. We helped our farmers, we helped our ranchers, we helped our small business owners. After-tax income, that's the money in your pocket, increased by about 10% since I became your president.